A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 53. Who would believe what we have heard? To whom has the Lord's power been revealed? He grew up before the Lord like a sapling, like a root in arid ground. He had no beauty, no majesty to attract us, no appearance to win our hearts. He was despised, shunned by the people, a man of sorrows, familiar with suffering, one from whom people avert their gaze. Despised, and we held him of no account. Yet ours were the sufferings he bore, ours the sorrows he carried. We thought of him as smitten, struck down by God and afflicted. Yet he was wounded for our rebellions, crushed on account of our evil deeds. The punishment that made us whole was on him. His wounds brought healing to us. We had all gone astray like sheep, each taking our own way, and the Lord laid upon him the iniquity of us all. Afflicted and humbled, he never opened his mouth. Like a lamb led to the slaughterhouse, like a sheep dumb before its shearers, he never opened his mouth. Forcibly, without justice, he was taken, and who gives a thought to his fate? He was cut off from the land of the living. The sin of his people visited upon him. He was given a grave with the wicked, and his tomb is with the rich. Although he had done no violence, no deceit upon his lips. It was the Lord's good pleasure to crush him. If he gives his life as a sin offering, he will see his descendants and live long. Through him, the Lord's good pleasure will succeed. After his anguish, he will see the light and be content. By his knowledge, my servant, the righteous one, will justify many by taking their guilt on himself. Hence, I shall give him a portion with the great, and he will share the spoil with the mighty, for having exposed himself to death and for being counted among the rebellious. Yet he was bearing the sin of many and interceding for the rebellious. Promises to the city of Jerusalem. The word of the Lord. A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah, Promises to the city of Jerusalem, chapter 54. Shout for joy, you barren one who has borne no children. Break into cries of joy, you who were never in labor. For the children of the forsaken one outnumber those of the wedded wife. says the Lord. Enlarge the space of your tent, extend the curtains of your home, do not hold back. Lengthen your ropes, drive home the tent pegs, for you will spread out to the right and to the left. Your descendants will dispossess the nations and repopulate deserted towns. Do not fear. You will not be shamed. Do not worry. You will not be disgraced, for you will forget the shame of your youth and no longer remember the reproach of your widowhood, for your Creator is your husband. The Lord Sabaoth is his name. The Holy One of Israel is your Redeemer. He is called God of all the earth. For like a wife forsaken and sad at heart, the Lord has called you back. Like the young wife repudiated, says your God, I did forsake you for a brief moment, but in great compassion I shall take you back. In a flood of anger, for a moment, I hid my face from you, but in everlasting love I have taken pity on you, says the Lord, your Redeemer. This will be to me as it was in the days of Noah, when I swore that Noah's flood waters should never again cover the earth. So now I swear never to be angry with you and never to rebuke you. The mountains may depart and the hills may be shaken, but my faithful love will never leave you. My covenant of peace will never be shaken, says the Lord in his pity for you. The New Jerusalem, unhappy city, storm-tossed, unpitied, look, I shall lay your stones with fine mortar and your foundations on sapphires. I shall make your battlements rubies, your gateways firestone, and your enclosure precious stones. All your children will be taught by the Lord, and great will be your children's prosperity. You will be established in saving justice, far removed from oppression. You will have nothing to fear, free from terror, for it will not approach you. Should anyone attack you, it will not be my doing, and whoever quarrels with you will fall at your side. Look, I created the blacksmith who blows on the charcoal fire to produce a weapon for their purpose. I also created the destroyer to make havoc. No weapon forged against you will succeed. Any voice raised against you in court you will silence. Such is the lot of the servants of the Lord, their saving justice from me, declares the Lord. Conclusion of the Book of Consolation. The Word of the Lord.